Alrighty folks, this is how to become the most hated player in Warzone. And no, I'm not just talking about using one specific thing like a fire shotgun, which are pretty hate-worthy, but no, I've went to incredible depths to create the most hate-worthy Warzone player ever. Like, I'm deadly serious when I was asking my fellow Warzone researchers what's the most hated sticker in the game and spending serious time pondering our options. So please, let me present to you... Jesus Christ, is that a Groot skin? Yes, it is, and the operator skin is where I started this hate build, because before you're ever killed by an enemy to know what gun they're using, the first thing you see is the operator skin, and it can genuinely affect how you approach them. Like, if it's a default skin, then we're absolutely sending it for them. If it's a nuke or CDL skin, then we think, oh, better back this up here. But what operator skin truly makes you think, I would love to kill that fucker? And for me, the Groot skin is the most triggering, even though it's not hated for the same reasons it used to be. See, back in Warzone 2, which we all hated, the Groot skin could barely be seen in the shadows, and thus it had a genuine competitive advantage, and so it grew to be hated for that reason. However, now for me anyways, I always think Groot skins are just unnecessarily sweaty, like just doing way too much. Which is why I don't think a CDL or a ranked skin is as hated, because when you see that, it's just... it makes more sense to me that they're a good player. Whereas the Groot skin is more for wannabe sweatlords, in my opinion. Now we need to select an infuriating execution to go with our operator, like we're trying to pair a wine with a steak. And, you know, I did consider the execution with this wee guy right here. I mean, what else is annoying like your virtual self taking a free kick to the balls, getting launched into orbit? That's what... I mean, that for me is just way more disrespectful. Like, how can that not be annoying, watching your operator fly off into the distance? Now, unfortunately, I can't change my gamer tag to something hated, but if I could, I'd change it to something pure tryhard like this. So I'll just have to settle for changing my clan tag, which I had two options for. At first I thought, let's go down the streamer angle and put TTV in there, because, you know, if you hate streamers, but then I thought, why are you actually watching this video then? But in the end, I settled for something which will trigger everyone. Simply, you suck. You can see it's all starting to add up now. The ingredients are coming together, but we're not creating the loadout yet. We've still got the calling card and emblem to sort out. And when I consulted my chat for recommendations on the most infuriating calling card, there was quite a lot of support for this one calling card in particular, bearing in mind there's literally thousands to choose from. And that is this totally obnoxious, totally unnecessary animated... see ya. Again, think of it from the perspective of someone being executed in this way, and then they can't help but notice this in their face. It really is just... And furthermore, I'm pairing it with a nuke emblem so that whoever I kill cannot deny that I'm a decent player. The enemy can't even be like, that bot gets so lucky. Nah, not with this particular nuke emblem, because you got that for achieving a nuke on Warzone 2 when it was really tough to achieve a nuke. Think about it. The nuke emblem is actually more infuriating the less skilled way you kill the enemy, because it just makes them think, how have you got a nuke? But now it's time to choose a loadout. Think of what you hate dying to the most. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it a ridiculous fire shotgun lighting you and your teammates up with no skill required from the user? Is it the current must-use laser beam meta AR all the streamers are showing off to their viewers to use against you? Nah. We all know deep down the most hated weapon of all. The weapon which can strike both fear and fury in us from a distance. The weapon which doesn't even have to be equipped to make use of. The weapon which makes us react even when we beat it. And that weapon is... the Riot Shield. Tell me right now your reaction when you see a Riot Shielder isn't a, for fuck's sake, a Riot Shielder. It's just a total inconvenience having to fight them, and even if you do beat them, it's still a harrowing ordeal. And just completely infuriating coming up against a Riot Shielder who knows what they're doing, like this guy. Oh. Oh, he even went on to beat this hacker I was spectating, and then proceeded to offer a fist fight for the win. Anyways, I'm not done. My Riot Shield also has to look the part too. And that is why I've put a Ryan camo on it, to make my enemies think I have truly mastered the shield. Also, why not add a big what's good decal on it and a little nuke sticker for good measure? Imagine you're having a nice, enjoyable game of Warzone when a big Orion Riot Shield jump scares you asking what's good. But what is a good secondary if we're talking about pure hatred? Look no further than the Tonfas. Wow, they actually nerfed these halfway through making this video. They really are hated. For me, the Tonfas are so annoying because of the speed at which the enemies can swing them around. I mean, it seems like you're just insta-dead. 1 second, they're coming at you swinging them, then the next second, you're back in the lobby. So for me, the Tonfas go in this loadout, and I'm putting a bright pink nuke camo on it for some extra spice. Moving on to the tacticals, and I think we have 3 choices of what's the most rage-inducing to be hit with. Starting with the shock stick, which when hit with makes your operator hold down the trigger of their gun and unable to reload until the effect wears off. It's pretty annoying, but at the same time, I actually think it's pretty funny when your operator's like shaking about like he's in a cartoon. Not like hating having your eyeballs nuked from a flash grenade or two thrown into your room, and then by the time you regain your sight, you're back in the lobby. But the most rage-worthy tactical of all to get hit with is the stun grenade, because you still have that urge to fight. The muscle memory is still pressing all the right buttons, and yet you can't fight back. You have to accept your inevitable death in what feels like slow motion. Deciding which was the most hated lethal equipment to use was one of the toughest decisions to make during this entire study, because of options like the Bouncing Betty or Claymore, which on the face of it, it takes like absolutely no skill to use. You just set and forget and potentially pick up a free kill, and to think the other player has died simply for moving around the map. But those two options have both been beaten by the throwing knives, which I find incredibly annoying. And it's not just because someone could potentially one-shot you from behind a riot shield. It's more for when you're knocked and someone immediately throwing knives you to finish you. It feels like you didn't even have a chance to recover. It's just over so quickly. And I think we all associate throwing knife finishes with sweaty players, and that gets us all mad. Now we're moving on to the last pieces of the most hated Warzone loadout jigsaw puzzle, the perks, and we're starting off with a 2-hit combo of EOD and Battle Hardened. Because if you're trying to dislodge a camper, for example, there's nothing worse than seeing these two symbols pop up when you're throwing an entire arsenal of munitions at them and they still won't budge. Oh! Nah. See, that's the EOD effect. That's the EOD effect, folks. It's the EOD effect. It's the EOD effect. We've got him. And on the flip side, you'll be able to launch plenty of stuns and throwing knives because you've got an unlimited supply of them, because we're putting on resupply. You can get yourself a whole backpack of stuns if you wish, and then use them all to literally kill this player by keeping them stunned in the gas. The final perk was a toss-up between two. Resolute, because again, when you're shooting at someone and that little symbol pops up saving them from certain death before they get behind cover, that's very frustrating. But not quite as frustrating as downing someone only for them to fart out a smoke grenade with the Shroud perk, meaning you can't even get your eyes on them to finish. No! Oh, the smoke! The shrouded! The shrouded! Put my right shield at the back! Come on! Yes! That actually feels like you've been robbed of a kill, and thus it gets equipped and completes our loadout. What an absolutely disgusting concoction we've created here. But wait, we've not decided on what equipment we're going to find and use. It has to be the heartbeat sensor, right? Absolutely. How infuriating is it when you die and the first thing you see on the kill cam is the enemy holding the good old baby monitor? Especially in solos, this thing gets my blood boiling. But now we must decide. How are we going to play with this loadout? Because it's not just enough to have the most hated operator or loadout in Warzone. Nah, there's more to this game, like having the dodgiest mic on proxy chat. I think you should be able to hear my microphone now. No, it's still bad. It's still bad. Oh fuck, I'm stuck with it. Oh no. Oh no! Oh shit! I'm stuck with my microphone! Players can barely hear footsteps at the best of times, and now you gotta play against that absolute headache. Easy! Easy! And if that's not enough, we gotta be sending regular text messages to the lobby to get everyone a little riled up. If I'm just trying to play my game and someone is spamming the side chat, I can't help but feel my eyes drifting towards it and then thinking, I'd love to find them. Don't forget the disrespect too, like the body shots with a floor-like gun, or the teabagging like we're playing Halo 3 in 2007. And most of all, what's the most hated kind of player we can be? Is it a wannabe movement king? There's a huge argument to be made for that, but I think we already know where I'm going with this. I'm going absolutely nowhere because I'm a camper. Throughout all of COD history, the camper has been the most despised genre of player, and that's not about to change. Oh my god! Oh my god! Bonk. Bonk. Like when you're camping at the back of the gulag like a shite bag to win and end someone's game, how can you not be annoyed at that? So in summary, the most hated Warzone player is an Orion riot shield wearing, tonfa wielding, stun grenade using, knife throwing, shrouded, buzzing mic sounding, toxic Groot skin camping bastard with a heartbeat sensor. And if you agree or disagree, please let me know in the comments below and drop a like if you enjoyed the video.